I'm going to give you some names, and you just tell me what you think of him.
Oh, got it.
Okay. Sean Waltman.
Great worker.
Nick Patrick.
Worshiped the ground he walked on, and he thought of Buff Bagwell's name.
Oh, really?
He came up with Buff.
How, just off the top of his head, or was it a brainstorming session?
We were on a flight home from Seattle, and it was time for me. I was getting extremely popular, and everything was working in my behalf, and it was just time to lose. You know, it was time to throw a rock, a stone cold. It was time to throw a name in there. And we're trying to come up with a name for me. And then all of a sudden, in the back corner of the first class in the dark, you hear, "What about Buff?" And everybody just went. I mean, not another person said a word. It was just, that's it. That's it. Buff Bagwell. Oh my God, that's perfect. But WCW did not want to lose my name. So if you ever watch me come out, very rarely did you just see Buff. Very rarely. That's what I wanted. When The Rock comes out, it says Rock. You know, I wanted to say Buff. Well, they had on mine Marcus, quotation marks, Buff Bagwell. You know, they loved my name, and I don't know why, but they just wanted to keep my name in there. And so, yeah.
Next one, Lord Steven Regal.
Ups and downs with him, but I love him to death. One of the best workers I know. He's a legit badass also. And, you know, I go, everything I stand for is dead against Steve Regal. You know, like tanning and training and, you know, all that don't mean nothing, you know, to him. And so that's why we didn't quite get along. And then, but we always worked, we worked each other 1,000 times, and we always had great matches. He's a great worker. And I just saw him this last, the Mania WrestleCon thing we did. He was there, and, you know, he got from the table and hugged me and everything. And he's a great guy. He just, you know, he just always had a little bit of back and forth.
You said that you were hot and cold, and you were sort of the antithesis, if I can say it, to him. Did he ever get on you about wearing sunglasses? Because I know that's something he didn't like.
Never even heard that one.
No. Okay. I think that's something you may have said to Booker T or something like that. I'll move on, though. Miss Elizabeth.
She was great. She was, I mean, for 3 or 4 years, it was, you know, Lex driving, me in the passenger, a cooler in the back left, and then Liz was in the back right. And she'd pass the beers up, and you know, we had a good little team.
Rick Rude.
Love him. He's one of my, that's who I got my finish from. I just made it from jumping and doing it and making it that, instead of just doing the, you know, the Rude Awakening. You know, I did it with off the ropes and did it. So I always loved him, and he worked extremely snug, and I like that. If you can work without hurting the guy and be snug, I'd much rather have that. You know.
Brian Pillman.
Love him too. Great guy. You know, matter of fact, I'll give him even more than that. He's actually the first guy to save me and Johnny B. Bad's life. We were on the road, didn't know what we were doing, had no idea. And I didn't know that this 10-day run we had, 30 years later, would still be the hardest road trip I ever had. But the first 5 days was land, car, wrestle, hotel, sleep, get up, land, car, wrestle for 5 straight days to the point where I almost quit. I was like, this is crazy. And then we got to Kansas City, and Brian Pillman, I hadn't worked out. I hadn't ate a meal. I was losing weight, everything I was against, not going to the gym, all that. And Pillman showed us kind of how to do all that, how to find the food, and how to find gyms. And there was a good gym in Kansas City, and we were able to actually open our luggage and be comfortable. You know, it wasn't like, getting 1 or 2 things out and closing it back and then going right back out the next morning to their airplane and all that. It was, where he showed us how to live, but it came at a time where I was about to snap and needed, because we didn't have credit cards. Me and Johnny were broke. We didn't have credit cards or nothing. This is when I was on that $500 a week thing. And that's when I came back to Kip Fry and said, bro, do you realize I lost $400 this weekend? I said, you can't live on $500 in 10 days. You can't live on that. And so they gave me a contract, and from that point on, it was, uphill.
A couple more then. Ultimate Warrior.
Don't really know him, but when I've ever met of him, I didn't like, because he was the guy that got his own room and didn't eat with the boys at catering. And, he was a big star and we wasn't. And that's how, even Hogan would come out with us and eat with us and stuff and hang with us and stuff. And everybody's got their opinion about Hogan too, but mine was always, like, judging those 2 stars, both being great big stars. Hogan smokes him to me. The only time literally, I don't think I ever even heard 2 words come out of Jim Hellwig's mouth. And he's from the same town I live in, Marietta. So Jim Hellwig, he trained at Kegel's gym. And I trained there too when I was, 16. So I'd see him in there like, God, look at that guy, man. And I was always asking him questions on diet and stuff.
I will give you a couple more then. Nasty Boys.
Oh, love them. Love to death. Me and Scorpio had some of our best matches ever with those guys. And me and Dell did too. So I personally had great chemistry with both of them. And they both, as tough guys, didn't like me at all at first. And then they saw me knock a guy out one night in Jacksonville, Florida. And after that, it was like I was accepted into the nasty boy clique, Because at first they were like, Sting, why are you hanging out with that guy? What is it? He's stupid. He's dumb. And he's like, man, Bagwell's cool, man. But nobody saw it except Sting. And then for some reason, it took me knocking somebody out to get some attention.
Paul Roma.
Me and Paul were real tight and actually fell out over a bet that I didn't know we made, that he said we did. And it was like a $60 bet. And I said, dude, why didn't you just tell me I owed you $60 or something? I'd have paid it. I said, you've held all this long, and now you're telling me about it? So, but overall, I thought Paul was a great guy. I think he's a great worker, great body. And we had great matches with him. That was during Me and Too Cold and Pretty Wonderful.
And the very last one.
Sergeant Stripes and Pretty Wonderful.